And even then, he's still one of the nicest people I've ever met, you know, and everybody gets along. You saw at the end of Season 3, when a team won, all the other players came out and crowded the stage. So let's get into this semifinal match, see who can take it and move into the grand finals.
Yep, it will be FlipSid Tactics versus Defusekids, game number 1, and we are on the SARBC favorite map itself, Urban Central. So a lot of these players will be very familiar with this place. As that's
what a
going to be
save by Scrub.
A phenomenal double save there by Scrub. And Scrub is actually something that we didn't quite hit on. Scrub's relationship with all of the FlipSid Tactics players, probably a lot closer than many other players.
Oh, for sure. A lot of respect shared between these guys. Scrubkilla did famously carry Maestro and Greasy to a strong Gfinity win against FlipSid way back in the day with very stylish overtime double touch against Cuxer. We're back in the days when Cuxer was really the only player who was doing that in any games. So they've known it for a long time that Scrub is a force to be reckoned with, but no more so than today, where he is on stage and looking like he's playing at his best. Starting off pretty even here, end-to-end stuff, but at first, great shot by Niels, does get swatted away by Cuxer.
Yep, FlipSid Tactics will want to keep pushing this forward and look for Mystic's positioning throughout all of this. He is currently the final man back. And now as he pushes it straight down to Maki, they're going to have their opportunity, but Cuxer is keeping himself in that third man role. Is exactly why, because he looked for Mystic, but that backflip, don't quite know if it was an angle good enough for Mystic to try and push it into a shot, though.
We saw Mystic was already rotating back. He didn't wait in that corner at all to see if the pass was going to come his way, and then when he realized it was, he had to then change his momentum, try to go the other direction, but he was unable to do so. As you said, the backflip not quite enough. Well, Mystic, I think, is the player most likely to exit those aggressive positions quickly.
Yeah, he's just going to want to immediately keep everything going as he wants to get himself
shot
back.
Rifles off both posts.
Mystic, one of those players that considers himself one of the better players at just simply not allowing mistakes, and if he doesn't make mistakes, FlipSid don't concede. As Defusekids going to continue to try and press forward. They've spent a long time now in FlipSid Tactics end, but still, apart from one shot earlier on, unable to pick up anything really worthwhile.
Marky over Scrub.
Beautiful fake there. Just showing some signs and well played there by Cuxer. He
Cuxer
tries to
can't
leave
keep
it,
this
but
out.
not enough.
You saw Cuxer ended up on the wrong side of the ball here. Slight mispositioning on his part. And that shot does squeeze in. Niels getting a little bit fortunate that he had the perfect angle from that front flip. The first goal does come at the hands of the lesser known player who has been performing just as well as his teammates all tournament, giving them the confidence to move forward aggressively, both on the ground and in the sky. And that's a great pass down from Cux, but Scrub read that. Deep inside the goal, not making the same mistake that Cux made to concede a goal.
Yeah, we're looking at where Scrubkilla does position himself as more pressure is put on. We're going to have a chance to see here. Two players committed. Scrubkilla going to get that and the Savior medal. Very impressive from him, already taking up that third man role and making it his own. Now, time for Defusekids to try and increase their lead. Niels Cook gets off the side. That's how he scored the first time. And Niels Cook has opened up a potential weakness on FlipSid Tactics, but now here comes the counterattack. Mystic can layer it straight towards the middle of the goal. And what a way to respond by FlipSid.
Great passing by Cux into Marky in the corner. And Mystic knows that he can just slot that one safely into the middle of the goal. Nobody at home for Defusekids. The passing counterattack left wide open by Scrub and Pashy there. Niels was looking to center the ball and a double commit forward into aggressive positioning. They need to be very, very careful because FlipSid, just as much as teams like Method and Gale Force, love to take the ball out quickly with these passes.
So now, that's actually be dangerous. Mystic tries to get himself forward. Cux will be the final player. That's a very hard angle for him to try and get the ball from. Maki will half rotate. And he might be able to get to the ball. No, already Mystic has rotated back so quick on that because he usually leaves himself about 50 boosts to make a play and 50 boosts to get himself back. Like I said earlier, one of the smartest players we have in the entire scene. Mystic, the backbone of any good team.
It's interesting, Cux is taking a lot of power off of his clears to try and direct them towards Marky and Mystic. If Defusekids get a read on that, and they start to move forward whenever Cux has the ball in defense, it might be bad news for FlipSid because that could allow the situation that was happening yesterday to the teams early in the tournament who were just getting boxed in by Defusekids, getting their boost starved, getting bumped around and demoed. We know that Pashi does love to play that strategy, so Kuxer might need to mix it up a little bit more in defense in case he starts to get
Oh,
hard
Cox has
reads.
actually snuck in through after stealing that back right-hand side ball, or actually boost, but that's going to go the entire way. Pashi,
What?
he's found a gap that really should not be there. Mystic is actually rotating back with pretty much no boost at all, so he was slow, and Defusekids go up by a singular goal.
Marky thought that Mystic was going to be back in position a little bit sooner than he was. Unfortunately, though, he overestimated how quickly Mystic was getting back into defense, and it's Defusekids who have the lead, but Marky going for the montage play, a little bit over-hitting the first touch. And I love being able to see how much boost players have, don't you, Shogun?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's such a useful thing.
But as we round game 1 to a close, Defusekids are in the lead and they're sitting very comfortably in their own half. Full of boost.
We think.
Will FlipSid be able to pull out a miracle in game 1? It doesn't look like it. This ball should drop, but hold on, Kuxer has other ideas. Can't get the second touch, and we will have 1-0 for Defusekids. They take a lead in the tournament. Yeah, let's take a look at the friends list. Who else is online? Who else have we got here?
Our observer is going to be a very popular man by the end of this tournament.
If anybody can figure out who it is, I think that people have worked that one out. We do have game faces on FlipSid Tactics. We saw all laughs and smiles earlier on when they were on stage, and I think that might be one of the keys to success for them. If they can start to enjoy themselves like they did earlier, that's when we saw the best performance from them against Prophecy, where they started pulling together the passing plays, much like the one that enabled them to score their only goal in this game. But some uncharacteristically lackluster defending from FlipSid. We have said that Mystic has been a rock at the back all weekend, but perhaps a little bit too much confidence in him there for that winning goal where Pashi was able to just put it end to end. Marky moved up aggressively on that challenge, expecting Mystic to be back. They really shouldn't be putting so much of the expectation on Mystic's shoulders, I feel.
No, they really should not. Mystic, though, there's certainly any advantage to have him, not only to his gameplay, it's the fact that, I mean, you have both spoken to him at length. He's a very cheerful fellow.
Yeah.
So once you've got him and Marky together, very easy to keep the
very
morale
positive.
up.
Exactly.
So that's something they will continue to do. You've got Scrub Killer there.
Certainly not.
I would say all comms with him is positive, but that would just be a straight up lie.
Yeah. He's toxic.
He's very toxic.
No, I'm kidding. Don't worry about him.
I'm
He's
not.
a-
He
he's
is
a nice guy.
toxic.
We're not allowed to say that, Shogun.
Are we not?
I don't
sticking with
I
it.
don't think so.
Oh, but don't-
But yeah, sorry guys. I think we're just gonna fix that glitch that was happening earlier. We are back into the game now. FlipSid down by 1 in a best of 5. This is tournament life on the line. The winner will be doubling their money on moving on to the grand finals to play against either Gale Force or Rogue, and the loser will be going home with $6,000 to their name. Passing play, Mystic to Marky, and Marky to himself, and he does slot it home. Delicate touch with the underside of the card to make sure that he can find the angle he needs without hitting the crossbar.
Such an important skill that teams have started to learn more and more. Used to be about half a year ago, constant backboard plays, just trying to set up on your teammates. But now it's got to a time where so many teams are so good at defending it. The much quicker play, the much smarter play to go for is just to simply pass it to yourself off that backboard. And we see it right there from Marky. Puts his team up by 1 goal. A very good way of trying to shake off the cobwebs from that previous loss. Scrub Killer, big win from him. He's also got boost to try and set this one up. Misses the ball, and Mystic will take it away. But Pashi can try and go for a double tap. Once again, Marky Dudar is up, but here is the rotation. Scrub Killer steals the middle boost, tries to get himself back in. Now Mystic with a flick can try and go the inside way. He's still got the ball jumping up and down. Couldn't catch it with the left-hand side of his car, and that will mean Kux and the rest of FlipSid have to prepare for defense.
Kuxer has looked a little bit awkwardly positioned at certain times during this series, conceding the first goal against Niels Cox's wall shot in game 1, as he was sitting off the goal line where perhaps it being inside would have favored him better. Right there, nearly getting blindsided by the ball, but he did recover it in time. We're keeping a close eye on Kuxer because although he's been scoring some really nice goals today, defensively he has not always been in position. And speaking of out of position, Niels Cox with a very, very casual approach into the center and finds the back of the net, courtesy of Marky. not being ready for that.
Niels, we were talking earlier on the desk, had to be the player to step up. He needed to become, because we knew for a fact every other player on here would be able to perform at this level. But we didn't quite know if Niels could. He is answering that question in a big way right now. He is finding gaps using wide angles, taking shots, and he keeps catching FlipSid tactics out.
Interesting to see Pashi taking such a deep position for large portions of the series so far. Niels has adopted that role against the win, or in their win against Rogue yesterday, and then we had Scrub taking more of a defensive role on stage earlier against the Aero Kings. Pashi has been sitting quite deep this entire series and trying to rely on his own goalkeeping skills. He got done by Kuxa there, rescued though by Nielscock. Good to have teammates who are covered in the angles that you cannot.
And Kuxa brought it up during a recent interview that the delayed shot is one of his favorite moves to go for. He shows it right there. Plays that one off the backboard. Marky is way too far forward. That shot should be way too powerful. And once again, the over-rotation from FlipSid Tactics is starting to become a trend.
Marky loves to sit close to the back wall in the box. It favors him well when the ball comes straight across the box without hitting the back wall. But we see there one of the weaknesses of sitting inside the box when you wait for the ball, or even at the edge of the box. You have to fly straight up, which is so much more difficult. You would have almost had to pre-jump to catch that fast pass from Kuxer. Kuxer, he should know that Marky likes to sit closer. Maybe would have wanted to pass that a little bit lower. For the time being, Defusekids are capitalizing on a lot of FlipSid mistakes. And will this be another one as Mystic is pre-jumping, desperately trying to intercept this play. Getting beaten now by Scrub in the air, or Pashi in the air, sorry. Who's doing a much better job sweeping up FlipSid's aggressive moves than FlipSid have done at the other end.
Yeah, FlipSid will continue though. They have gone to these passing plays numerous times. But they are finding the second man, but whichever touch the person in the middle of the field has taken has not been good enough because Defusekids are not trying to intercept the pass. They are simply waiting for the second touch. And then taking over from there, Marky Duda will look for Cooks here. Well, it was actually Mystic. Now Cooks puts that one over to Marky, who was looking for Mystic, but once again, too much angle on these passes means no one can react. Two players in the corner, Cooks will be playing back, but that one just scrambling over the top of the goal will mean FlipSid Tactics will have to try again.
I feel like FlipSid's best avenue of attack might actually be the near post, as we are seeing deep positioning from Pashi and Scrub in defense. Sitting inside the goal at times, or if not inside the goal, certainly behind the goal at the back post. If Kuxer can sneak in at the near post, that might be their way to equalize this game. I know that Cux loves to be in this little pocket at the near post, ready for the pass to smash off the wall in his general direction. Mystic whiffs on the pass from Cux as it came straight down. FlipSid, only 50 seconds remain if they want to tie this game. Otherwise, they face reverse sweep or die.
Simply is the case. There's a shot from Marky Duda. Almost went under Nielscook, but Scrub Killer had it red, went for his own save. And then was the attempted follow-up. Put straight down. Cux has to pass that one straight over to Marky. Marky's got that someone dangerous, but Mystic is in no position to get himself over there. Scrub Killer takes control using the side of his car just to try and trap that one straight down. As FlipSid Tactics continue to try and press forward, 20 seconds remaining. They need to find something, but firstly, they need to get it out of their side. Finally, another looping pass. They keep trying to do it off that sidewall, but there is no one downfield for them to find. That will be cleared back into the FlipSid Tactics end. They have got one more chance of this. As soon as it hits 0 and the ball hits the floor, this game will be over. Defusekids will go 2 games up.
Defusekids, patience is rewarded. They just sit back and let FlipSid come at them, and then they counter with every attack. They're just hitting right back with force, and they've taken 2 games in a row against FlipSid, who have never looked this down on stage this entire weekend.
I honestly haven't seen FlipSid beaten like this by a defensive-minded team since the first time they lost to the old SK Gaming, where SK Gaming had like 14 saves in one match. This is looking a lot of the same now in a different sort of vein. Now, Defusekids are not allowing shots to happen. They are simply molding around the strategy of FlipSid Tactics, reacting to it, clearing it away, and taking advantage of huge tactical mistakes.
And will FlipSid be able to do what Galeforce did earlier? They identified that What they were trying to do is just playing into the hands of Bluey. They were playing in the air, and Bluey and Sebadam and Doomsy were able to match them, and then Bluey was, you know, actually beating them to the ball so often that it was creating chances. So they brought the game to the ground. We saw K-Dop following the play very close, as Turbo Pulsa and Violent Panda would look for 50-50s and near post passes. So many ground shots and dribbling plays that series. FlipSid need to do something like that. They need to change what they're doing, because what they're doing is not working. Their shots on net are all getting saved. Their passes off the back wall are all getting cleared by half volleys, and Scrubkilla continues to dominate with his first touch.
All of their shots as well have come from the halfway line at the very least, unable to really put the ball somewhere which can really be all that dangerous for Defusekids. So as you mentioned, reverse sweep or die is simply the story here.
It's a great shot.
FlipSid Tactics have got a mountain of work to do. They might as well get started right here. Lovely passing play, but Cooksay is already on the back rotation. Marky Dudar did not see it. And that is going to allow Defusekids to immediately take back over.
Defusekids have been ready for almost everything FlipSid have thrown at them this series. And they continue to control the possession as we move just about a minute into game 3. FlipSid need to have far more control of the ball as they continue to give it away. Oh, Scrubkilla's double touch does go clear. That is a let off for FlipSid, as two of them were beaten to the ball there.
There's a big bump there from Niels Cook. However, he cannot rotate himself back down to the floor. Now Cookster has actually taken it past 2, but that touch of his was enough to allow Pashi to rotate back and use the ball to his advantage to take it away. FlipSid Tactics. This is not looking like more of the same. They've definitely changed something up, but it almost looks a more panicked style of gameplay. Something that will probably at least give Defusekids a cause for concern as they start to challenge a lot more. Cucks, as you can see, already downfield, as they try to find something that might open up this brick wall of Defusekids defense.
FlipSid, they are trying to slow down this play. They don't want to just keep hitting the ball at Defusekids into positions where Defusekids are ready to receive it. Trying to bait Defusekids forward, find some space behind them that they can hit the ball into, but with Scrubkilla continuing to dominate the back wall, that is no easy task.
And maybe that demo for Mystic might have just given away what this strategy is. Slow down the pace, find the opportunity to demo the keeper, and then take the shot. However, doing it once might have given it away to the Defusekids lineup, especially since it was done to Pashi, who will know that strategy better than anyone else. Great save there from Cucks. Gets it straight off the backboard, and that will not allow a follow-up shot. Crucial touch from him, but Defusekids are finding it really well. And Niels Cook creates a V from the pass to the shot into the net. Defusekids are in the lead and could be about to sweep FlipSid.
Niels Cook with his best cherry picker impression. Great positioning. You see the wide line that he takes there is taking him further away from the goal that he wants to shoot at, but it gives the passer more goal, or area in front of him to aim at. And they take the lead yet again. Defusekids are frustrating FlipSid into submission here. Marky with a tough save, clears it straight at his opponent. Coxer to the rescue yet again. 2 and a bit minutes remaining. FlipSid are on their last legs here.
And we are starting to see Rocket League gameplay start to shift into this much slower pace.
Cuxer goes low.
As Cuxer tries to put it in, that would be the follow-up from Mystic. Comes in, and you can see Mystic much further up the field. FlipSid Tactics, they know they've got to be brave.
That was great placement of the shot by Cox underneath the initial defender, but Pashi somehow kept it out. Mystic, like you said, was there. FlipSid, I believe, need to play closer together just a little bit in attack. Of course, they don't all want to box together, but maybe going forward in twos, like we see Gale Force do on occasion, could try to dismantle this Defusekids defense, who are sort of isolating themselves on occasion.
Oh, that's going to be a pinch.
Forces the pinch.
Scrubkilla, that was a very bad tackle from him. Should have known that he was going to come in at the exact same time. You don't want to be tackling whilst facing your own net unless you're absolutely sure that there will be no challenge at all and you will win it 100% clean. Marky looks to put it off that side wall where Niels Cook is actually waiting for a double commit though. But FlipSid Tactics will not be able to react quick enough.
Awkward from Cox.
This is definitely dangerous for the Mystic. Puts that up high. Scrubkilla though can react in time. Niels Cook also attempts to do it. So Pashi will find himself alone, but only has to deal with a very quickly taken Cookseer shot.
Pashi doing a great job in defense this series, continuing to be well positioned to deal with shots and clears. Marky double backflip there. No comfort zone has been found yet by FlipSid. We're into the final minute here. They need a goal if they want to win in regulation time. Otherwise, overtime is where we will be headed.
Well, Mystic will try and find that goal, but once again, Niels Cook is on that backboard. They are ready and waiting for everything. Is Defusekids. But they do need to find a shot. That is going to be it. Niels Cook, one of the best shooters in RLCS in our previous season. Trying to show some of that right there, and that could go the entire way, but Scrub Killer will quite easily gobble that one up and spit it back down to the other end of the field. As Defusekids will now try to lever on that pressure. 24 seconds remaining. There is a shot, almost managed to try and sneak in to the near post. Marky flicks it, but does it too early.
Red.
And Niels Cook pre-jumps it, gets there just in time. Final 13 seconds here, Johnny.
Missed it completely out of boost. It looks like Defusekids are aware of that fact. And as we approach overtime, it is Defusekids who have the pressure. FlipSid with a little bit of a panic clear. Will Marky just fake this to the ground? He finds the touch that he needs. Now, what kind of kickoff are we going to see? Perhaps two most creative teams when it comes to kickoff. Scrub Killer allows Marky to win this one, but no one's in the back corner for Defusekids. Marky will find that awkward center off the roof, but Cux's shot is no more than a pass down to Marky, who was on the rotation out of attack.
Now Pashi over to Niels. Him and Scrub Killer have gone to a couple of these balls together numerous times now. Pashi, with a full canister of boost, will easily be able to push that straight into the corner. Good cutting infield pass goes off the post. And now Niels Cook can try and take the other way. Does not have the ball close enough to him to take it over the top of an awaiting Marky Dudar, who has rolled that one up the wall. The boost is stolen from him, but he's still able to play it. Forces Niels Cook to come out from the goal. 45 seconds into overtime. Both of these teams looking dangerous, looking promising. Niels Cook, once again, trying to find that angle, using the wall. And we march on.
Almost a minute into overtime now. This has been, in some ways, the Niels Cook show. Everything that Defusekids are doing in attack starts and finishes with him. He has been having a good series here. Plenty goals, plenty things to be happy about, but they will be happy with no less than a win in this series. 2 games. And 1 more goal is all that they need. Right now, FlipSid find some pressure, which has been difficult for them to find at other times during the series. And oh my goodness, Defuse gets so close once again to finding a passing play, which will materialize.
Pashi going to try and continue onwards, but now here comes Mystic. Managed to take out 2 players. Cux has got an open goal to aim for, but Scrub Killer, the awaiting door, is slammed shut. Goes for that long shot. Almost managed to get it, but Marky Dudar is awaiting. Now we are back into end-to-end. The pace has just completely picked up. Cooks here wants to find Mystic. Mystic puts that off the roof. That will be taken away by Scrub Killer, who actually whiffs the ball, going to allow Mystic to put that one up high. Still pressure in, 2 minutes into this game, and Cooks here puts that up high yet again. That will be followed up. Marky Dudar cannot get away. There's, as you can see, as Johnny just said, they might be out of boost, but using that wall for a long clear, very smart there by Defusekids, but they are still constantly under pressure.
Almost no boost on Defuse. And finally, the defense crumbles. Relief on the face of FlipSid Tactics. Mystic reading that poor clear, and Cuxer able to squash that ball in behind the flailing defender. It did not look easy for FlipSid at all. That was a hard-worked win. And Defusekids had plenty chances to take that game in 3. With FlipSid Tactics backed very firmly up against the wall, of course. Cuxer often does play at his best, and that was a good use of the boost stealing mechanics, good use of positioning there at the end of the game to make sure that they didn't overcommit while pushing for that last goal.
It was almost like they were just herding the sheep up right there.
It was
just stealing the boost, putting the dogs forward, constantly keep trying to get them into their own goal, and eventually nothing could be done about the shot.
Just contained them. They just boxed them in. Something that Defusekids love to do as well, but FlipSid very famous for that strategy. Sometimes games can be won or lost against FlipSid just by who can contain the other team better. But with how well teams are able to save their boost in defense, we can see how long players like Scrub Killer can last. using 20 boost for one save, another 15 to save something else, and he still has a handful left over, picking up the small pads in between times. It was still very close to being a save at the end there when FlipSid took the win or in that game.
See both those teams looking very intense at this point. They know that they have reached the deep end of this tournament. A victory here means doubling 6K into 12K, and then a potential of putting that up to 20K by winning our best of 7 grand finals. We'll be having the other semi-final immediately after this series. So, Johnny boy, what was the main difference maker in that previous series? What did FlipSid Tactics try and do differently that was allowed them to get a win when games 1 and 2 did actually look like the majority of Defusekids?
I think that FlipSid have figured out that Defusekids are not going to challenge every single ball in the air. Defusekids are quite happy to sit back and let FlipSid hit the ball at them. And if FlipSid have realized this, like I think they have, there are going to be a lot more first touches in a controlling manner, a lot more passes from each other or to each other in defense. And maybe more of that containing strategy that we saw at the end there, rather than going for shots and trying to score at the earliest possible moment. Will they continue to try and just contain Defusekids in their half and wait for the goal to present itself?
Well, Defusekids starting to make a lot more mistakes. Some more double commits, some more whiffs.
Niels is having a solid aerial game. So many 150-50s, so many clean wins as well, just beating people with speed.
It's honestly Scrub right now that's making the majority of the whiffs, but Marky Dudar responds with one of his own. But definitely nerves starting to show up on some of these players. Pashi try and use that, jumps onto the wall preemptively to try and control it and keep the ball on the wall as well. He's going to keep going. Pashi, just an absolute thorn in FlipSid's side, as pretty much as he has been throughout the entirety of his career. But still, tied up almost 2 minutes through this game.
Pashi, absolutely one of the best team captains in Rocket League history. Another being Marky Duda as they sit opposite each other at either side of the stage. A storied rivalry, for sure. With one more chapter yet to be completed today. Who will make the DreamHack Summer 2017 finals? Defusekids out of the blocks faster, but now FlipSid have a little bit of a faster bend, and as we approach the home straight, it could be level, or will Defusekids take a lead that cannot be surmounted?
We've definitely reached that point
free aerial
where players know to prioritize their rotations over anything else. You see Pashi waiting around. Also saw Marky Duda. Marky Duda has been known to use that backboard to surprise players who cannot see him on it.
Oh no, Marky accidentally dunking on his teammates clear. That is what happens when you rotate back in the direction of the ball. But they escape disaster this time. They are looking to keep the ball close to their chest right now. But they can only keep it away from Nielscock for so long. This man is playing like a man possessed today. Certainly his best performance of the tournament so far, when it matters the most. Great to see the lesser known players stepping up to the plate and having a great performance. Well, it's been a quiet game 4 here. Very, very timid from both teams, sizing each other up, unwilling to overcommit, but at some point the nerve will break, and there it is. Niels misses the ball. This could be it. Marky is a phenomenal 1v1 player, but a save by Pashi. Cuxter with the aerial though. We did feel it coming. The tension was building, and that one miss by Niels set Marky up for success. Beautifully done by Cux.
And when we were in the previous RLCS's grand finals, one goal was exactly all it took to win games, and those matches looked very similar to this one right here. Both teams have slowed down, more methodical in the way they are trying to play. And here comes Marky Dillon trying to make it two, and he has done so. After all of the pomp and circumstance around the very first goal, Marky Dura decides to unleash the rocket and puts it into the top right-hand corner.
And Pashi, who has been so solid at the back, was not ready for that shot from Marky. Rifling in from the midfield. You did credit Marky's shooting ability earlier today against Prophecy. Well, he's shown up once again in Game 4, setting up Cux for success with a good shot just moments ago, and now firing from distance at speed. FlipSid are set to tie the series here. Defusekids have not really had to play from behind all series, and now that they have to do that, they look lost for strategy. How are they going to break this FlipSid rotation?
FlipSid did it in Season 2, beating Mokitiyu in 2 straight sets to come through and win their first World Championship. Then they did it in the playoffs last season against Resonant. Can they do it yet again by taking this series and coming back with that reverse sweep? If we look at it right now, and the way the momentum has started to shift, it really does not mean a stretch of the imagination to see that happening. Defusekids just struggling now to get anything going. It's like FlipSid Tactics have almost taken up the exact same strategy as Defusekids and are simply doing it better.
Well, now that FlipSid aren't giving away the possessions so much, and that they've realized Defusekids' strategy was to sit back and let FlipSid hit the ball at them. Now FlipSid aren't hitting the ball at them, they're just keeping it to themselves. And something will have to change for Defusekids as Marky finds his 3rd hat-trick for the team captain. Or is it 2? Oh, wait, sorry. I thought it was 3 because I credited him earlier for setting up Cux's
He effectively set up
I'm going to give him most of the credit for Cux's shot.
It's 2.5 goals.
His shot was not good. He did find bar down and in, which is, of course, the best way to score a goal. Game faces are still on, but a laugh from Mystic will bring joy to FlipSid fans, as this is exactly what was happening earlier when they played their best against Prophecy. There were smiles, there was a lot of laughter, a lot of animation happening on stage. We all know that Cuxer is a player who plays far better when he's happy, when he's feeling upbeat. Looks like Mystic is trying to bring the spirits up on the FlipSid end, but how can they be feeling bad after 2 solid victories against Defusekids now?
So, earlier on, we saw one series that was very similar in style, Rogue versus Penta. Rogue went 2 games up, Penta then brought 2 back, but ultimately ended up dropping in Game 5 overtime. Pashi and the rest of Defusekids will be hoping for a similar story here, as they look to avoid being the first team reverse swept in our top 8.
Well, we've seen what FlipSid's plan was to bring the game back into their favor. They slowed the game down, they kept the ball to themselves, and now it's up to Defusekids to make a change. And I feel like we might be about to see a very young man being unleashed. He's been playing quite defensively, he's been sitting back waiting to pounce at opportune moments. But I would not be surprised if Niels and Pashi sit back and let Scrub run riot here. And I certainly hope that that happens, because it sounds like a very interesting final chapter to this evolving story, which right now is titled Marky Duda scoring goals.
Certainly is. Mystic just gets that one straight back down to the middle. A huge run now for FlipSid Tactics. An unbeaten streak now of, I believe it's 4 goals without conceding. And they've picked themselves up one even the first 10 seconds of this match. Scrub Killer unable to get back. And Marky Duda has now got 2 goals for 1 shot.
Right from the kickoff, Cuxer's so smart, losing to the side where Mystic is grabbing boost. Marky already knows what's happening. He dodges forward to save his boost, and then he still has the boost to take the shot. That is really well done. The only set piece in Rocket League is the face-off, and FlipSid are playing that aspect of the game just as well, or if not better, than any other team in the world right now. Of course, we did bring up NRG and Jacob being another player to watch in that regard, but one good save by Pashi keeps the game at 2 goal difference. FlipSid are all over Defusekids at the start of Game 5.
Yeah, Defusekids just simply haven't got going so far. Niels Cook has actually managed to steal some boost, but that ball is going to be way too high.
It's a good touch
somewhat
by
dangerous,
Marky.
but Marky's got plenty of boost to keep going, but has actually put that one straight back over to Pashi, who was awaiting and now has to rotate back with very little boost. Actually, there's very little boost on almost all of the Defusekids team. So they require Niels Cook, who I believe was the only one with 100 at the time. And they have done, managing to get it away. But still, Defusekids can't allow this to start settling back into a regular game, because that has not suited them so far, let alone the fact that they are trailing by 2 goals.
Marky with an early dodge to get the dunk, and the shot doesn't go on net, but it is awkward to clear. Another opportunity for FlipSid. They are finding more chances in the first minute of this game than they did in the entire first 2 games. And will Scrub Killer be unleashed? Will Pashi be able to make another phenomenal comeback? Here comes Scrub. Marky with a save from a point-blank range double touch attempt.
Yeah, Marky Dudar realizes what many players don't, that Scrub Killer can hit those shots. So instead of predicting the ball to come towards him, he just shuts down the possible angle. Well played by Marky, keeping his team on a clean sheet. 3 minutes remaining here. Defusekids, the time is ticking away from them, and they need to get this ball into their opponent's end and then start to work around. But once again, FlipSid3 happy to just pass the ball back into their own end and work the ball afterwards. However, it is going to be loose and dangerous, as that's actually going to drop straight down. Niels Cook not able to get there in time, and FlipSid3 just boom the ball away.
Yeah, this is the other problem for Defusekids, is they have not come back from behind at all this series.
No, their entire strategy is based around being ahead.
They stayed ahead, yeah. And this is a huge problem for them, because what are they going to do? FlipSid looks so comfortable. They don't need to find any more goals. They're just going to pressure to try and bring one to increase their lead. But they don't need to score, and FlipSid know that. They're not taking any unnecessary risks. And now Marky trying to double touch this one, but he's realized his first touch is too far away from himself. Saves those 18 boosticles, try and recover faster. 2 minutes remain. Defusekids still not finding a way to create enough chances. And this could be FlipSid into the finals. 1 minute and 50 seconds now. Niels, his shot accuracy and his speed seem to deteriorate with every passing moment. Mystic steps forward with confidence. Pashi swats it away, but to what avail?
I really have to give a lot of credit to Mystic right now. He is constantly picking. He has just gone from left boost, hit the ball as it attempts to be shot into his half, then he immediately goes and steals the right boost, heads back into the middle, puts it back into the orange end. Just keeps rinsing and repeating, always in the way. Defusekids have just been frustrated out of this match so far. Final 80 seconds remaining. Niels Cook can try and put this one straight down. Huge touch there by Mystic, and that is yet another opportunity put away.
That would have almost certainly been a goal if Niels Cook could pass that to himself off the backboard, but he aimed slightly too low, so Mystic was able to get a touch from inside the goal. And now we're into the final minute. The best chance has been and gone, and no goals have yet occurred for Defusekids in this game or the prior. 50 seconds. We do see them moving up aggressively. They're cheating up close. They know that they need to play risky now. We might see more goals for FlipSid, but really it doesn't matter at this point. Defusekids needs to make something happen. There's a good 50-50 Centra, but it does get cleared with ease.
It's almost like Defusekids don't even expect themselves to win the 50-50s, and Marky Dudar will put the exclamation point on this matchup. Huge goal from him. That will wrap it up.
And he did not get the hat trick last game like I thought for a moment he did, but he has this game. His shots have improved as the series progressed. Contrary to Niels, who started off such a shining light for Defusekids, but unfortunately for them, it looks like they used up all their energy in 2 games and missed their opportunity to sweep. Whoa, whoa, what a pass by Mystic. How did he manage to catch this ball and pop it again?
Marky Dudar
the whiff initially, probably baiting everybody forward.
has shown everyone that he is the most experienced player in Rocket League, and exactly what that does for you. He has now been in this situation numerous times where they have to come up clutch. He is the main man, the main focal point for FlipSid3. He comes up and leads by example, scoring 4 goals in this matchup. Marky Dudar, MVP here, as FlipSid3 give up 1, but they will take this series.
It is worth mentioning that Pashi is part of the team who have made a 2-goal comeback with 6 seconds remaining, and that was 6 seconds remaining from a kickoff.
If it's on Wasteland, does it count?
I would say so. I would say not. Rather.
Okay, so that we're striking that from the history books.
I mean, this would be an even more impressive comeback. They scored 3 goals from 8 seconds, starting with a face-off. It's almost impossible. But Pashi, unable to make a comeback today. Not even Marky Dudar and Coxer would have expected him to be capable, as we see Marky trying to get rid of all the sweat that's been accumulating as that close series draws to a close, and they will now await the winner of Rogue and Gale Force in the grand finals. Marky Dudar, Coxer, and Mystic progress. They've doubled their money, but they will not be happy with anything less than a first place finish today. And Scrub, Killapashi, and Niels, they could be proud, falling short only by 1 game against the Season 2 World Champions and a Season 3 Grand Finalist.